Throughout my whole entire existence on this planet, from my ugly ass birth all the way to my crippling, depressive adult life, I'd say I've watched a pretty decent chunk of anime so far. So much anime to where I would consider myself a connoisseur, you feel me? I mean, I couldn't recommend you shit. I've dabbled in a lot of varieties the majority of us are familiar with, like shonen anime, slice of life, romance, psychological, a little bit of mecha, and the phenomenon most gooners are familiar with, High School DxD. I don't blame me, man. I was 14. The point is, anime is like a second love to me. Even though nowadays I don't watch as much of it as I used to, it still made up a core part of my life growing up and diversified my interests. Like, if I'm being for real here, it's kind of made me who I am, man. And with the multitude of animes I've seen, there was one that truly made me want to wash my eyes out. One that made me feel the worst I've ever felt in my whole life. One that would actually genuinely get you questioning your whole existence for how weird it is, because it's scary. And for today's video, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to speak about this show because honestly, it might be worse than horror movies. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's sick. So without any more time wasted, I'm referring to none other than Higurashi. I'm scared. Let's just cut the shit. If you know somebody who's watched this anime before and they weren't the slightest bit hesitant on telling you there's some wickedry going on in here, congratulations. You might just be friends with Dexter. Because them not telling you is a lunacy. That's how sick some of the things in this show are. There are no words to describe how twisted this supposedly cute, appealing looking anime is. Don't let it fool you. It's full of horrors. To those of you who have already watched this, I'm just gonna assume you're already a serial killer in motion. And to those of you who haven't, let me give you the rundown. Of course, I will be spoiling. And quick disclaimer, if you're eating something right now, I hope you got a good stomach, man, because this is about to get loose. Higurashi is an anime which follows the story of a boy named Keiichi Maibara, a kid who's just moved to the small town of Hinamizawa. And this shit is mad small. I'm talking about they only got one goddamn school in the whole village. And in the school, the class is full of different ages and different years of people. Ain't nobody live here, man. It's small as shit. And while we are introduced to our MC Keiichi, we also got a bunch of other characters which make up his friend group, like Rena, Mion, Satoko, and Rika. And they all make up a club in where they play a bunch of card games and just hang out with each other. You know, the usual stuff. And at first, you wouldn't think this anime is just weird as shit. It poses as more of a calm and peaceful show in the first episode rather than what I'm tending to make it sound like. I'm lying on my ass crack, by the way, because in the literal first scene of the anime, you get Keiichi absolutely slamming out his friends. It's a madness. But you know, we're gonna get to the reasoning behind that later on. And of course, it gets worse. Eventually, Keiichi stumbles across a newspaper which mentions something about a murder. A report of a dam worker who got lynched and dismembered into separate pieces. Murked, fam. And it also said that the murderer is still on the loose. Now, at the time and when he wanted to speak about the accident before finding the newspaper, he asked both Rena and Mion about it earlier. But they both just gave him the cold shoulder and deadpan responses. And that was sus as hell. Why didn't they want to talk about it? That's weird. But also very important for later. In the second episode, you find out the town hosts a yearly festival called the Cotton Drifting Festival, in where they just make cotton balls and let them flow down a river. But you also find out from a man called Tomitake that the village in itself is cursed. Oyashiro's curse is the name of a phenomenon that goes on in where every year so far, somebody dies on the day of the festival. They didn't make it out alive, man. And the weird thing about the curse is that I feel like it's so normalized in this village. Since I'd assumed the vast majority would know about it already, they probably just look at the murders like, you see that body? Yeah. My brother, call it in! They probably just look at murders with no care in the world because they know it's finna happen anyway. What kind of chicanery is that? It's sick! And I'm not even kidding here. As soon as Tomitake tells this man Keiichi about the curse and the weirdness of what goes on around here, the next time we hear about this guy is when he's dead. He died by scratching his own neck so hard, he packed himself off. The evil spirits got to him, he got finished. The detective that explained that to Keiichi also told him that prior to his murking, he might have got jumped. And also asked him to keep this entire conversation a secret from his friends, which doesn't work out well. It turns out Rena was spying on Keiichi and the detective the whole time. And she did not rock with this shit, let me tell you. She started saying he's a liar with this creepy expression on her face. Like, you know, she started getting cat eyes looking at him. And that happens a lot in this anime, surprisingly. Especially when it comes to all the scary shit. She started staring him down with this cold expression on her face, like she wanted to low-key teeth his soul. And this little girl not only was pissed off at the fact that Keiichi lied about speaking to the detective for his own safety, by the way, but she was so mad, so sick in the head, she broke into his house. In the very next scene of when Keiichi is at home, his dad just starts telling him that she was in the house the entire time. She was stalking him inside the crib, watching from the door for the whole duration of another phone call he had with the detective. She was preying him like a sicko. Listen, if it were me, I'm tweaking at my dad if he ever did this. Why would you let her in like that? Not to mention, she was standing at the door like one creep and you didn't say shit. No survival instinct. And this whole predicament was so bad that Keiichi had to go to the hospital the next day. And it only gets worse from here. Once again, he links up with the detective to discuss any further involvements on his case, and the detective just goes and says that he suspects that all the murders that have happened are basically all from his friend group. Obviously, Keiichi deflects and doesn't believe it. Then the Fed just goes on to explaining some evidence he got, like Rena's backstory, and how she got kicked out of her last school for breaking all the windows, and how she reported seeing Oyashiro in her therapy sessions looking at her like one demon. Well, that's not disturbing, is it? Later on, Rena and Mion both visit Keiichi to basically just threaten him on yet again his conversations with the detective. They don't like the police, man. And you see these shrinking pupils? I swear to God, that's how you know they're on some evil shit. It's demonic. Then they make Keiichi take some food they made and practically threaten him again to not miss school for another time. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you right now, the scene following up after this ruined me. At the ripe age of 14, when I saw it for the first time, it might be one of the most disturbing shit I've ever witnessed. The food Keiichi got from the girls, the food had a needle in it. What the hell is that? They just tried to kill this guy and they weren't even trying to hide it. They tried to finish him off with putting a needle in the food. They're sick. Their own friend. They tried to murk their own boy. What the hell are we doing here? That's mental. Look at the way bro was acting afterwards. He couldn't believe it himself. And thus, from this point onwards, Keiichi was shook. He didn't trust nothing and nobody now. He didn't care about no bullshit about defending his friends no more because he knows they were going to try and murk him. Even a truck tried to finesse this guy, but he didn't care anymore. All he cared about was ensuring his own survival. I mean, bro started going on a whole training arc, learning the ways of using a metal bat. This guy can't relate. He even started to distance himself from his friend group. And as he should. Because what the hell? These two are snakes. I mean, somehow Rena was worried about him and chased after him to have a conversation later on. But really and truly, not only was she worried about him, but the bat Keiichi was using belonged to somebody she knew that disappeared. And by him just carrying it around, it started to make her go psycho again. Don't piss me off, man. Only for her in the next episode to come try and press the guy at his own door. Still stalking him. Nigga, it's nighttime. Go sleep, man. Why are you still here? And Rena not only broke the windows of her school in her backstory, no. She also batted 3 people. Finessed them, man. And through another phone call Keiichi had, she still waited outside his house being a creep. You're weird! And then the whole 4th episode of the show basically concluded this whole predicament. He got Mion to break down and make her want to kill the detective, which made her look mad sus. Rena was out here carrying a whole big ass cleaver to most definitely pull some shady shit with it, laughing like one psycho. And even after when Keiichi gets knocked out by some random guys in a forest, these two, when he was in hospital, tried to drug him, which in turn led to him becoming so paranoid, he kills them, bludgeoning them with the same bat he carries around the whole time. And just like in episode 1, he finesses them, with the first part of the anime ending with him calling the detective one last time before clawing out his own throat just like Tomitake and dying in a phone booth. Fam, this is the first 4 episodes. It's just a madness. And the whole anime revolves around some whole timeline shenanigans in where the world basically resets over and over again, right? So when we move on to future episodes and arcs, this guy Keiichi was just a bug out because there was no needle he should have been so afraid of that he had to murk his friends for. Because in future, he was having flashbacks on where it was really just a marker to mess with him. This guy overreacted and murked people. No one's safe. And I know the first part might not sound as scary to you as it will be to people who have already seen the anime. And I agree, there's probably way worse out there. But that's why I'm here to just run through more heinous shit that goes on in here, because it's mental. People literally get tortured. Mion has a twin called Shion, and she was out here messing people over. She was about to hammer nails into every one of Keiichi's fingers and even stabbed the guy. She also dashed her twin Mion in a ditch to her demise like one sicko and was game overing people relentlessly. She even caused Rika to delete herself. Guys get their heads split open often like this is invincible. People getting stabbed continuously, bludgeoned to death all the time. And in the flipping remakes, I'm seeing Satoko use a fork to finish off Rika. What are we doing here? Imagine being a kid and assuming that this anime was some go happy friendly shit, only to come out of it witnessing some of the most horrific shit you've ever seen in your life that would scar you forever. That's what Higurashi does. I'll be honest, I don't remember so much from this anime because it's been a minute since the last time I've ever seen a scene from it. But there's a whole part that I still remember in where, because Shion and Mion were a part of the Yakuza just came in and started removing one of their fingernails. Horror! Yo, this village is a straight up hell, bro. Everyone becomes psychotic and wants to murk you the minute you do anything to suss them out. You might as well just accept that you're finished. Or even better, just pretend you didn't see anything. Become an accomplice to the crime to save your own life. Higurashi makes Danganronpa look like baby food. Because this anime is not for the weak. And this is all I wanted to say about Higurashi. Should you watch it? Probably not. But if you like horror, hell yeah, man. I just wanted to low-key yap about something different this time because I'll be so real with you lot. I had mad burnout this week. So I just needed to do something different. Like always, I love you all. I appreciate you all. And in conclusion, it was her fingernail.